Let's do a poll. Let's do a poll right now. Labra, do you start him next week?
After what I saw, I'm debating it. I'm actually debating it. And I think Oleg is such a negative. Yes, almost. I'm there. I'm almost there because Oleg Rebchuk is almost like playing with 10 men. He's that bad at this point. I don't know what has happened to him. He was never my favorite player, but like now it's just horrific. Having Marcelo there, the calmness, this guy's played in the new comp in huge derbies. Like, I don't know, just having this player there, a star, and maybe I saw something out of him, but again, it was only 25 minutes. I would have started him tonight. I would have started him today just to see, but so maybe, I don't know.
Ari?
So I would still, for Panathinaikos, I am sticking with Oleg only because I don't know if you guys watched that game against Volos, and it's not that Panathinaikos is like a high flying offensive team, but they're very efficient with the chances they get. I mean, these guys, their team has been outperforming. They're outperforming. If you take XG, whatever, they're outperforming everything. But what they do get a lot, and this is maybe an explanation of where their success is coming from. They are, and I haven't gone through all the teams to confirm this, but so far, all the teams I've gone through, Panathinaikos has the largest ratio of shots inside the penalty area of any other team in Greece, including Olympiakos. So Olympiakos, as you guys have seen, we're not performing to our XG. We're not finishing enough where we should be. That's something we've been talking about all season. But even with that in mind, Panathinaikos gets more opportunities inside the penalty area. And that's huge. They're very efficient creating opportunities, even if they're not winning or possessing the ball 60% of the time, even against Volos. Volos was possessing it. It was very close. I don't think it was 50-50, but it was like 55-45. So it wasn't much different. But what Panathinaikos does, which Volos didn't do, and what we don't do, is they get a lot of opportunities in the penalty area. And unfortunately, if we had we didn't give somebody else a chance in one of these games today or in the game against Panathinaikos. So we don't have the luxury of trying that. We know Marcelo can't last more than or for 90 minutes total. And I think to start in a balanced way, I think we have to start with Oleg, even though we've seen already the left side is not the best defensively. Those wingers for Panathinaikos, again, I'm not going to say they're amazing because they're not, but they're effective. Their team is effective. They are their whole is greater than the sum of their parts. Just like we said with Karabag when we had Patrick Kasky on here. So I'm sticking with Oleg just because we have to, especially away. It's a more conservative approach, but we don't have another choice because we didn't give anybody else a chance to see if there's momentum to build off of.
Ari, I think that's a good point. We're forced to, not because, let's say, we're into it, but because Michel didn't give anyone else a chance to prove going into the derby that they could do it. So now you're at a point where you can't throw, Doron Leidner's never going to play, but like, you can't throw him in the deep end. Maybe you can play Versailles. I don't see it. Like he started in Germany with Versailles. Maybe he goes and does that. I don't know. But one thing I'm thinking about as we talk about this, is this the biggest derby with Panathinaikos in how long? Like, when was the last time we had such a big derby where so much was on the line? Like, I literally cannot remember.
Probably 2011. Guys, Olympiakos cannot lose to Panathinaikos. I mean, if anything, Olympiakos have to beat Panathinaikos. I cannot remember at this juncture any team ever being able to recover from a 13-point or 10-point deficit and become champions. Obviously, the playoffs are a big X factor because there's at least 2 more derbies with each of your rivals. But Olympiakos cannot afford to lose this one. 13 points. That's gonna be huge, guys. I can't see this Olympiakos having a near perfect record until the end of the season against this near perfect Panathinaikos side. They have to win. So to answer this question, I agree with Aris. Like, the management has been really poor at the left back situation. There's 4 left backs. Only one of them has been playing still. The other 3 haven't even got a sniff Kutris, I don't even know what he's doing there anymore. Marcelo arrived late and ended up, I just said what I think about Marcelo. Leidner, the whole passport situation is absolute nonsense, and there's a great mystery surrounding that. So you started Abchuk, in my opinion, but we need to have a vision of bringing in Marcelo as an impact sub, like Mathieu Valbuena comes in as an impact sub in this at the second half at some point. But regardless, guys, Olympiacos need to be very careful with Panathinaikos. They can't lose this game. If they lose this game, in my opinion, it's lights out for the league. From then on, second place. And Olympiacos need it for morale. They need it for confidence ahead of the World Cup break. They need to approach the World Cup break with something huge from the first half of the season. Like, we beat Panathinaikos, we got this one big win. We can do this, guys. Olympiacos need to win this. There's no other way around it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. And there's a couple questions in the chat that I think we should address. Here's one here. Miles Street said, guys, I saw you posted about Leidner before the game. Did you have any info if whether he would get some time or no? What to expect from this story? So this, and then I saw a comment further up. There was a comment that somebody had made saying that maybe Leidner was lazy in training. That's why Michel doesn't rate him. Other people brought up that Verveles has talked about how Michel doesn't rate Leidner. So I can let you guys know that we had an inkling he probably wasn't going to play today. Disappointing, but we had an inkling that was probably not going to happen. But I can tell you that he's not lazy. This kid trains really hard. From everything that we've heard, he's a talented player. We've heard very positive things about what he does in training. So we can tell you that he's not lazy. This isn't a case that we've heard about like what was it? Was it Chumich?
Kenny Lala.
Kenny Lala, or I think Chumich, they talked about him kicking stones at training with Pedro Martins. But yeah, so I'm that's don't believe, if anybody's telling you that, don't believe it. Everything we've heard, it's nothing but positive about this kid, which is what makes this whole thing even more difficult. And you know what? Maybe there could be a couple of things at play there. We brought it up. You have Marcelo, who the club is invested in for multiple reasons, not just marketing and things like that. That could be something that he's thinking about, and he doesn't want to have three left backs on the roster. I mean, but at this point, every time we see the team sheet, we only have like 4 defenders that go on the team sheet. It's like 12 midfielders and then a few forwards. So I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal personally. But yeah, that's the situation regarding Doron Leidner. We all hope that we get to see him sooner rather than later. He is young. He is a young kid, guys. Don't forget. So I hope that he sticks through it, because I believe he'll be something valuable for Olympiakos moving forward, and he'll be a valuable asset for the club. There's talent there, and we'll see it. Once we see it, and once everybody sees it on the pitch, I believe then we'll start to see, hey, this kid needs to play more, and it'll get better from there.
Isn't it amazing how, I mean, this kid's never played before, and there's so much love for Doron Leidner. But again, this is a player that we paid $2 million for, plus add-ons. He's got a 4-year contract. And something that does spring to my mind in all this story is, you think of Kostas Tsimikas. How long did Tsimikas have to wait for his chance? A while.
Yeah.
More than a season. Hopefully not going to be like that with Leidner, but we saw what happened with Tsimikas. Tsimikas got his opportunity when Kutris got injured and never looked back.
And then don't forget, he actually had lost his spot the previous season to Kutris for the second half of the season in most games in that first Pedro Martins season. He did, he lost it, then came back and won it back.
Yeah.
You guys are wrong, though. Doron Leidner is not Greek, and Doron Leidner is not from the academy of Olympiakos. Doron Leidner came to Olympiakos to play.
That's true.
Doron Leidner had chances from other teams abroad. Like, he's not here to wait and see. You know what I mean? Like he
He
wanted
signed
an
a 4-year contract, Labro.
He did,
And,
but
and Olympiakos isn't going to sell him. They bought him for 2 million.
2 million.
His
We don't
value is
pay that much
probably
for him.
dropping. His
Yeah.
value's probably dropping now because he's not playing. He's going to lose his place in the Israeli national team. Sorry to say it, but he's kind of stuck right now. He signed a 4-year deal.
But is
They're
he
probably
willing
going
to
try
wait
and
and
loan
see?
him to Larissa or some shitty team in the Greek league over Christmas. That's one interpretation. But I honestly do think that when they have a preseason, like preseason 2.0 during the World Cup, he'll, you know, hopefully a bid comes in for Oleg. They sell him as well. But I can't believe that the incompetence is that high, or that it's so bad internally that they're going to piss this down the toilet after paying 2.5 million for this player. I refuse to believe it. If they do, it's on them. It's on them, and it will end up like all the other players that we've signed, and they've ended up going elsewhere and making a names for themselves. And we look at them and think, oh my God, like what we had and what we lost.
You know what Olympiakos could really use right now? Fucking Philip Zinkernagel on the left wing.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I'd play him in his actual position on the right.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Please, no more
out of position. No more out of position.
I don't know. I would still take him over fucking Masouras, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
But also, God, yeah, this whole Doron Leidner thing. At least Oleg will be going to the World Cup with Moldova. I'm just joking.